Oh yeah, we saw two Kaises on stream, and those two Kaises were absolutely not close at all. If you were playing against, if you were playing around one thing and then they play a bunch of mechs on turn 2 and 3, going, oh, I have prepared very poorly for what is about to happen.
This is not it.
But we are here into our match, round number 7. We've got a Fiora finally, and Irelia on the right side here.
Yippee, I love Fiora. Set was my favorite deck from set 1, and Fiora felt like a natural transition. Of course, we've got body and order domains, lots of removal spells, but then we also have some big units. It's all about being mighty.
Yes, absolutely. We can see here 3-set brawler on the side of the Fiora, and this is a relatively standard-looking version of the Hook Fiora. A couple extra cards here. We've got the Buru Captain and Sea Monkey, who you don't always see in those versions, but nice to hit off of the Hook. And then Irelia there with the main deck Draven and the main deck Vex. You'll love to see it.
Irelia can be a little bit troublesome. Forcing you to pay extra for some of those spells is not that fun.
Yeah, no, not fun at all if you have to pay extra for those there. But really, really interesting matchup coming here. Hook Fiora is one that I was actually looking a lot into when Spirit Forge first came out. At first, I thought it was a meme, which is, of course, why I gravitated towards it. I thought, oh, no one's going to want to look at this. And then it did well in some Chinese events. And from there, it was actually played quite a bit and became a relatively sort of tier 2 meta deck. And now I think with the bans, it's actually a decent pick here as we see Animationmodule actually still here in the event as we jump on in to round number 7.
Round 7, a colossal matchup between Might and Calm. We've got two very different playstyles going into the fray against one another, but which will prevail? Both starting off strong with those low-cost, cheap units to get into the board, to start making a board state. It would be typical of Fiora at this point just to push forward and start taking some points on those battlefields.
Yeah, and speaking of those battlefields, we've got Trifarian Warcamp, which we saw really do well in the Draven last round. We've, of course, got the Zon Warrens on the side of Irelia. Trifarian Warcamp, really interesting one for Fiora, because if you have a 4-might unit and you move into Trifarian Warcamp, that counts as becoming mighty. And we see that right here. There's the Fiora going to be mighty there.
And that's what we love.
Yep.
It's such a beautiful combo, being able to immediately make yourself mighty by using the battlefield itself. You didn't need a buff, you didn't need a spell, you didn't need anything special. You just moved on in and became mightier. And when Fiora is mighty, she gets deflect, ganking, and shield.
Yeah, so good. And that shield is one that I have seen forgotten many times. And yes, many of those times have been from me. I am like counting. I'm like, okay, she's 5. I got that. Yep. Deflect. Okay, I don't want to target her. Ganky. She can move over. Okay, I'll attack in. And they go, yep, she's a 6. I go, wait, what?
Wait a minute.
I did not want that to happen, but it did happen, and we moved on with our lives there. But we see a very strong battlefield. 8 might on the side of the Trifarian Warcamp. You don't normally see 8 might on a battlefield this early in the game.
Nah, but that's exactly what these mighty style decks excel in. Putting big, tremendous board states, putting a wall in front of your opponent and saying, can you deal with this? Because my guys are pretty big, and you want to get them out early and flourish. You want to be able to overwhelm your opponent with might alone.
Yep, and here is a card that I think started off in a lot of decks, Irelia decks when Spirit Forge came out. The previous pre-ban meta did not really have them as much, but Heart of Dark Ice is a very strong card, giving you 3 might. You're able to activate it to give 3 might to any unit that you would like, and that, of course, can trigger the Blade Dancer of Irelia. It effectively can give any one of your units accelerate every single turn if you need it, and of course adding that 3 might as well is very, very strong. We're seeing this Poro go in and tussle.
That is the biggest Poro I think I've ever seen. A Defiant Dance plus this Dark Ice is absolutely phenomenal. An 8-power Poro, Might Poro, going into now just 6 on Animation's side, taking out that really early lead. The answer was clear. Yes, I can deal with your mighty guys.
Yeah, I was talking about how you don't usually see 8 might on the side of a battlefield. Well, how about on the other side, and it's one singular Poro.
Though he be small, he be mighty.
He be very mighty indeed. But one thing to note, though, we look at the rune count on the side of Irelia. It is 2 runes. So, you know, you ask what it cost, and the answer may just be everything. But it was a board clear indeed. And now the question is, what is Fiora going to do here to rebuild that board and keep the pressure on?
So it looks like we've got a lot of choices here. There are a lot of units in hand. They have a lot of good effects, but I think ultimately we need to start with a big boy. So I think this is likely Set Brawler. It is indeed. And when they are played, they get a buff, and you can spend that buff to get +4 might on a turn, so it can give itself an effective 8.
Yeah. And it's a really cool unit with Fiora, because when you play it, it comes in as the 4. Its ability is a triggered ability that gives it a buff. That going from 4 to 5 with the buff, that is becoming mighty.
It is.
That procs the Fiora. The second time you can do this is you can remove that buff to give him +4. Well, you remove the buff, that brings him down to 4. That puts an ability that, when it resolves, will give him +4. When that happens, he becomes mighty again. So you get to double dip the chip. That is that.
Oh, it's the best when you get to reactivate abilities like that and just keep going. And honestly, is one of the reasons I really enjoy playing this deck, is because of that synergy between Fiora and Set.
Right, it's really good. I mean, ironically, Fiora is the best user of Set Brawler, including even of Set himself. So it's a really, really strong card in this deck. Once you start using Fiora worthy, you can start accelerating him, or rather, you can start readying him, and it gets really, really strong. And he's just able to control the board, and he's really hard to deal with because he's massive.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you can then just kind of keep piling that pressure on, because even if you spend that buff, okay, well, I'll put a Pit Rookie into play, and then I'm going to just keep going with all of this nonsense. I'm going to make sure that Set is giant. He's ready to go straight away, thanks to Fiora. And then we can just move him straight into a battlefield, and we are scoring a point.
Yeah, we're scoring a point. Not going to contest that 8 might Set, who's now going to be a 9 might with the buff. We did, of course, see that Fiora legend proc there to get that channeled rune exhausted.
And we drew some cards. Thanks, Zorn Warrens.
Thank you, Zon Warrens, indeed. And now this is really, I mean, we can see the rune disparity. It is massive. 4 runes on the side of Irelia, and a lot on the side of Fiora. And we're seeing our good old friend, first mate, to just bring Set back into safety.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad thing at all. That's exactly what we want to do, is be holding on to Set and be able to make him kind of, oh my goodness. Oh, that board state became huge very quickly.
A lot of units, and our good friend Baited Hook, an absolutely fantastic card. Reminiscent of cards from other games as well. You're able to turn your units into bigger units is the long and short of it.
Which, I mean, who doesn't want to do that, especially when you're playing a deck that revolves around being mighty? Whenever a unit is above 5 might, it is considered mighty.
Absolutely. So you're able to turn your units into better units. But the thing that I found was actually very, very strong about the hook specifically is you're able to go in and conquer a battlefield. Then you can hook that unit at the battlefield away, get a better unit, and put that unit in base. It's build your own Lucian. You can get in, get your point, and then get out.
And you're like, yeah, actually, I don't need to be here anymore. I'm going to jump back out of here. And it works ever so well. It's been used in a plethora of decks, and I'm not surprised to see it in this one now.
Yeah, it's been a really, really strong addition to the deck, and really Fiora has weirdly enough become the de facto baited hook deck a lot of the time. I think, you know, outside of maybe Renata Hook, which I think there's some believers out there in, has not seen a lot of success at the top tables, but the Fiora Hook deck certainly has, at least in early Spirit Forge, and we may be seeing it here at 6 and
Oh my goodness.
You really can't say much against it.
You really can't, and we're in round 7 right now. We could see a progression of that. Aligai has been just slowly getting Irelia ready, putting on our equipment, keeping it safe, giving ourselves that little bit of protection, but staying in base because it's not safe out on those battlefields yet.
Yep. Speaking of equipment, there it is, our BF sword there, going on the unsung hero. That is the wombo combo of Fiora. We're making her mighty. That's going to proc the legend. And also, if this unsung hero dies while mighty, you're going to draw not 1, but 2 fresh cards.
What?
Really good.
Lunacy.
Especially in a deck that tends to be card hungry. That is a really great thing to do, is get that BF sword on the unsung hero. And what's even better than that is sometimes you just get to hook it away.
Sometimes, and that's the nice thing about this. Actually, this is, I think, one of the things that Fiora decks have struggled with the most is card draw.
Yes.
Like, statistically, that is what they have faltered to. That has been the most difficult thing to overcome, is actually just being able to get into the cards you need. And this is one of those combos that just helps push you ahead. And obviously we get the trigger of Zorn Warrens there as well, and that continues to help our card draw. So this is going very well for animation right now. Plenty of power, and we've got the card draw that we normally can suffer from.
Yeah, and we're going to be able to potentially score this 4th point here, keep up that point tempo, get to those even point thresholds. But first, let's take a look in the hook here. We're going to hook away the unsung hero, see what we can get off of the baited hook, and go from there.
Let's see what we're going to reveal. What's going to replace that down? The BF sword is still lingering, waiting for a new friend.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is the baited hook checks the might of the unit when it is destroyed with the baited hook. So the unsung hero was at 5.
Yeah.
So it's going to look for 5 or up to 6, rather, in terms of might. And that is basically every unit in the deck.
Ooh. Who we got?
Maybe have made a decision here.
Who's here? Who's here to play?
I have to imagine it's not a Harness Dragon, because that would almost certainly be a Windmill Slam. It's actually just another unsung hero.
And honestly, that's kind of fine. Like, it's not the best, but again, we're cycling through the deck, and that's one of the many things that this deck has had trouble with in the past. And by removing another unsung hero from the deck, you're lowering the chances of that being your top deck when you go to draw cards. Thinning the deck is helping us to get to winning.
Yeah, and even just moving it off of the battlefield is good in this case. It also frees up the equipment if you so needed it. Not really needing it right now, but you can re-equip that unsung hero with a BF sword and yeah, get the card draw engine going again, which is really how this deck gets humming and really can take over a game.
Yeah, that's how it kind of digs its teeth in a little bit. And Aligu's going to be looking to try and jump back in there somehow, but it's going to be a little bit tricky because you're playing this kind of Protect the Princess, Irelia, and at the moment, at very least, we don't really have the power to move Irelia itself around without being a little bit of danger. We do have the equipment that will save us once, but going forward, it could get a little bit sketchy. Really don't want to be putting her in danger when the coast isn't clear.
Yep, and we're equipping the set with the BF sword, making him even larger. And this, well, this smells like a challenge if I've ever seen one.
And that's going to circumvent the fact that it's just sat there in the base. Here we go.
Yeah, challenge
it's
cares
so
not.
Scary.
Challenge cares not whether you are in base. And there it is, the challenge, going to try to kill that Irelia.
Targeting between the two, we kind of compare the might. And of course, luckily, Guardian Angel's here to save the day. Irelia does stick around, but now with even fewer. Oh my goodness, another challenge back to back, and Aligood couldn't do anything about it. We are completely wiped out. Irelia just nowhere to be seen, no units in play. severely on the back foot now, even though Animation had to spend a lot of power and put it to the bottom of the deck to do that. It seems like it might be worth it if they can hold on and rebuild from here.
Yeah, the good news is that I did see Stellacorn Herder in hand.
Ooh.
We have that Heart of Dark Ice, which is effectively going to be able to give it Accelerate anyway, so we can at least contest the battlefield here, get that 4th point, draw a card if we would like. I don't know that we're going to very easily be able to contest the set here, especially with 2 energy open and having drawn a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards in the range that would potentially throw that off. The biggest of which is, of course, Punch First. And, well, Irelia got punched twice last turn with the challenges. I don't know if they want to get punched first this turn, too.
Here we go, here's our Stellacorn Herder, who we know flew around and was a menace earlier, so let's do it again, everybody.
Yeah, let's see. We're going to start the battle off here, and
Ooh,
there's
my goodness.
a Defiant Dance. That's going to swing the tide of battle.
Yep, that certainly does. Not only is it a big spell, but it's also one of the most powerful signature spells on the block that can really pump your own damage while also lowering your opponent's might.
And one thing about Set, we talk about how large Set is. He's really not that good at defending. Yes, he does have a BF sword and he's got a buff, but 1 spell is enough. But there it is, Punch First. Punch first, punch hard.
Oh, and now we're going to hard bargain that. Has Animation spent too much power and energy doing that? We're down to just the 3, and now the shoe is on the other foot all of a sudden, where Aligu has more than enough right now in comparison to Animation, who might struggle to make a comeback now.
Yeah, that was a big point here. Of course, we're now tied up at 4. The issue, of course, is that Irelia has no energy up. That Stellacorn Herder is a sitting Stellacorn. I think that's the turn of phrase. You're there like a sitting Stellacorn. Well, that is exactly what they are. And this first mate or even the unsung hero can go in there, clean that up, and all of a sudden we are back in the driver's seat as the Fiora.
That was quite spectacular to be able to use enough pump spells to get that Stellacorn Herder quite so big to be able to kind of take Animation Module down a notch. It might not last, but they gave a really good go of it, and I'm very impressed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that hard bargain play right there is what is keeping them even close to staying in this game.
Absolutely, yes.
We're not so far behind right now that we won't at least take another look at another turn and see where we're at. Don't know if that's going to be the case after this next turn, but we will see. The top of the deck can always get you back in.
It can. We've already had it a lot during this event so far. Those top decks have been quite spectacular on a multitude of occasions, and it can just happen to you as well.
The unfortunate thing for Irelia is that we are getting into that oh-so-scary 6th point on the side of Fiora. We've got a lot of might. We've got the baited hook to potentially even put more in play, and a bunch of cards in hand.
And still the energy to be able to use them. So actually, even though we spent a lot and had to recycle a lot last turn, we have managed to use minimal resources to be able to take back these battlefields, to be able to score extra points, get to that pivotal 6 point, that turning point of most games. And then it's just how much you want to reinforce that position to try and prevent your opponent from being able to take back what you have worked so hard to achieve.
Right, yeah. At this point, you're feeling quite solidly ahead if you are Fiora. So it's not a matter of, oh, well, I can win this game quite easily. It's what do I do to set myself up so that I don't lose to the worst possible thing?
Yes.
Because that's what you need to be, that's what needs to be going through their mind right now. Not, I'm just going to play a bunch of stuff and see what happens. Like, no, Irelia is a very, very tricky deck. And if there's a deck that can do it, it is Irelia. And, well, getting another set brawler in play after drawing 2 cards from the unsung hero and and effectively moving it off of the battlefield, that's a pretty good way to stay ahead in this game.
I would say so. Again, it's about protecting our assets at this point. You're ahead. You just need to stay ahead and doing everything you can to protect your power, to protect the things that are keeping you in this game is so valuable right now. So keeping that set with the buff safe, great. First mate, okay, we're going to have to leave him there. It's not necessarily a problem. It's a low-cost unit, a low-might unit. Might be able to contest some things, especially if we've got some pump spells in hand. We might be able to help punch first if something little comes our way. But also, you've got to remember, we're currently looking down at an Irelia board state with no units in play. Doesn't mean we can't ready them, but it does require extra hoops to jump through to do that.
Oh, and we talk about putting some might into play. How about Spectral Matron, who's going to bring back another first mate to ready the other first mate?
To bring him back.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to leave him there in potential danger, in peril no more. First mate does come back to base, and now we're in a really strong position. Being at 6, you only need 8 points to win. You want to take both battlefields. Well, that's exactly what Animation set himself up to do next turn. He's got every ball in his court and can maneuver those units in any way they like, and that's what spells out the win.
Yeah, we see Fiora taking down game number 1. That is a thing that can happen to Irelia, is you just run out of gas. If all of your units go, it's a tough one to come back from. But we see the sideboard here. We've got the Fiora worthy as well as Akshan, which we saw come in against Irelia's before. Those Harness Dragons also very, very tough for Irelia to deal with. Really only the not so fast that can target it. But on the side of Irelia, we've got some Adaptatrons to potentially deal with those baited hooks, the Charms, which we've seen be very good, as well as Rebukes.
Even Factory Recall is going to be able to prevent those gear from being so pesky and making the units mighty, which hopefully might slow Animation Module down a little. That's all you really need to do. You need to react to what your opponent is presenting. And in the case of Animation, the units themselves, apart from our late game units, aren't that big. Like, everything is kind of manageable when it doesn't have equipment and it doesn't have a buff.
Yeah, even the Harness Dragon it's 6 might, and Irelia goes, that's nothing. When I ready, I'm already 5 might. I mean, if you look at me, I'm getting another might. Like, it's very easy to deal with the Harness Dragon. The Harness Dragon's ability, though, it's a little bit tougher to deal with, but with not so fast, you actually can deal with that. And if you are spending resources on the hook and you are hoping and needing for that Harness Dragon to come in to deal with an Irelia or something, and it gets not so fast, that can really shift the tempo of the game.
Exactly that. And so that's, as our Irelia player, that's what we're going to be looking to do. And it's just about timing. It's about the cards that you draw, because we're going to need the optimal cards to be able to pull that off. We're also going to need to manage our energy incredibly efficiently, because we need to be able to react in tow when those threats come to play. And we want to be getting things like that Guardian Angel on the board really early.
Yeah, and if we look back at that game, we think about it, there was multiple unsung heroes with a BF sword that are keeping the cards flowing in a Fiora's hand. If you've ever played Fiora or any of those body order, I always want to say body odor, body order decks. Oops, did I say that on stream? If you are going to play one of those decks, you know that the card draw is the tough thing there. You end up playing a bunch of units and you're like, this is awesome, and then they go away and I go, wait, I have no more units to play. What happened?
I have nothing. Yeah, where are they all? I swear I had them just here a minute ago. And the problem is that there is so much removal in this game. There are a lot of ways to push and pull your opponent's units around by the scruff of the neck kind of thing. You're like, come here,
dragged, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of ways for your opponent to interact with your units, and so what you've got to do is just not let them. And if you don't have the card draw to back that up, then it's just going to be a no-go. So it looks like Animation Modules made a really great case for themselves in giving themselves enough card draw with this build of the deck, but also utilized his opponent's Zorn Warrens to gain card advantage. The Trifarian Warcamp was a great play for round 1, for game 1 here in round 7, because you're bolstering your own ability to become mighty, but then utilizing your opponent's Zorn Warrens, going, oh, actually, I can draw cards over there. Yeah, I'm going to wiggle over there for a minute, actually, because that is what I need right now. And that's the problem. Your opponent is accidentally giving you an advantage. Trifarian Warcamp doesn't particularly help Irelia much. It's not something that's pushing Irelia to these numbers that matter, that do something. They don't have an extra effect, whereas Fiora's units get extra effects from that quite often.
Absolutely, and if you have even one extra unit, that's already a +1 on your side for the war camp. So no, a really good call out there where, you know, Zorn Warrens is basically the definition of a symmetrical battlefield. Any deck is going to be able to take advantage of that battlefield, whereas, yeah, Trifarian Warcamp was pretty much one-sided for Animation Module, and we saw how that played out. Well, speaking of one-sided battlefields, how about Monastery of Hirana? That is a battlefield that procs specifically off of buffs, which I think, if I had to guess, the Fiora deck is a little bit better at getting their units buffed than, of course, the Fiora. Though there is Adaptatron, which for some reason buffs itself and also destroys a gear. I'm not mad about it. I don't play Lucian, and that doesn't completely destroy me. Couldn't be me. The card also buffs itself, so in this case, they could conquer, buff it, and then also you know, sometimes be able to spend that buff if it is already there and draw a card.
We were just saying that one of the problems this deck can encounter is not having enough card draw. First game, cool, yeah, Zorn Warrens, my opponent played it, that's great. Game 2, Monastery of Hirana, I'll do it myself this time, and then you guarantee it.
Yep.
Brilliant choice there of our battlefield for this game 2, I imagine. Aligo might just be wanting to be there to prevent animation from using it.
Yeah, and this is an interesting change up here. Fiora's one of the decks that actually quite regularly will change its chosen champion. We are using Fiora Worthy, which is the 3-cost Fiora. When a unit becomes mighty, you can pay an order power to ready it. That is different. We saw the other Fiora used as the chosen champion last game. Fiora Worthy now coming in, and now the BF Sword all of a sudden becomes its own Heart of Dark Ice, like we saw on the side of Irelia last game. If you can play it, make these units mighty, you can effectively accelerate them or move them back or whatever you need. It can happen with Fiora Worthy.
Playing Fiora early can be a bit risky, but also it's a relatively low-cost unit, so actually you kind of want to get that out of there, get it into play, and just start being oppressive. Although it's really tempting to keep your chosen champion over there and kind of have it when you need it, equally, these two work really well together. We've now got the Set Brawler down with his buff.
Yep, and now you can see that they spend all of their energy, they play a unit, and then immediately go into the tank, because there's actually 2 decisions that need to happen. Well, there's one decision that needs to happen. They're going to always use the ability here on the side of the Legend. They got a rune, and then they got to choose whether or not they were going to actually ready the Set Brawler there. I think they were actually looking, if they got another order rune, they might have done it. That is at least what the body language led me to believe, that they got another body rune and said, no, can't spend it.
Not yet. Gonna have to wait. Yeah, and honestly, sometimes that can be it as well. You've got to manage your resources, and if you don't get the rune that you need, then it's a no-go.
Yeah, and here I think I saw a brief look at the hand of Irelia, and I do not see another unit, which, I mean, the good news is that you've got your chosen champion. The bad news is that we saw what happened last game when it was a double challenge and the game effectively ended at that point.
Yeah, that's the problematic part. Challenge is a problem. There are units on this board right now that can challenge an Irelia.
Yep.
Irelia can be challenged in base. We do have the Guardian Angel out early, as we assessed earlier. That was a really important element, but it's not gonna help her for long.
Yeah, that's the look of someone who has been painted into a corner. They know that they have to do this. You can't really, yes, you want to protect your Irelia, but you can't really just wait forever. Just going to equip the Guardian Angel and say, please, 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 please don't have 2 challenges here.
Yeah, if this is another back-to-back challenge, that would be unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Salvage also works as one of the challenges, because you just need to get rid of the Guardian Angel. Salvage does that good enough. I didn't see if there was a challenge or not.
I think we're going to try and draw some cards. It's like we're going to spend the buff
why not?
here to be able to draw cards, because I think we're going to try and get into that challenge. I didn't see what the top deck was. We're going to go ahead, channel a rune, ready, set, with the ability of Fiora.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a shortcut there. If you blinked, you may have missed it. We saw the Conquer with set. The triggers go on the chain. The Monastery of Fiora, you can spend Set's buff, and then when Set conquers, he gives himself another buff. So they just shortcutted it. They didn't take the buff off and then put it back on. No need to do that. However, there is that window where Set loses Mighty and then becomes Mighty, which is why we see the legend there exhausted to get an additional rune. And when it became Mighty, it also procced Fiora Worthy, which then spent an order rune to ready the set again.
Just keep telling me about that combo. I love it. I love it. It's so good. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, and then, oh wait, I basically get to just double my money. This is fantastic. I'm gonna go again.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's that beautiful part where you never run out of buffs. You're always buff.
You're just always buff. It's like Set's going to the gym all the time.
All the time.
We also saw the Fiora Worthy, who normally won't get into the fray. It is fine to do so if you have a good old first mate. We see a Sea Monkey and a Doran's Blade.
Wow.
Let's just put a lot of might onto a battlefield and say, yeah, Irelia, do what you want.
I think when you see your opponent struggling like this, you kind of get the notion that it's safe to just go, cool, I'm just going to go wide with this board. I'm going to create this completely just undefeatable amount of units and try and basically say, well, I think I've got this game in the bag if you don't do something about it.
We do see the charm there, which is going to kill a Set Brawler. Charm the Set Brawler.
Great idea. Really want to be removing that effect of being able to spend the buff to be able to increase his might. Being outside of your own turn, animation won't be able to activate that, so the set does go down.
Yeah, Set goes down there, and that is a good chunk of the might that was on the side of Animation Module now gone. Also a mighty procker for the Legend, and a lot of other things really kind of come offline when you don't have that Set Brawler, but we see a salvage, and that is not something that Irelia wants to see when you are trying to get rid of the Guardian Angel. Very scary.
Yep, you go ahead, kill a gear, and draw a card. It's a 2-for-1.
So good there. Just being able to not only kill a very important piece of gear, but also draw that card, which again, we've talked about is a really hard thing to overcome on the side of Fiora here. But we need to see, are they actually going to be able to try? Are they going to try to take on this Irelia in combat with all of their runes up? That is
it's
tough.
Scary. It depends what's in the hand, right? If you have things like Punch Burst, it's worthwhile. You think, okay, well, you know, this is their only unit. They've presented one singular unit this entire game, and I don't think they have another. So if I am able to do this now, that's great. But equally, if Animation Module needs to take their time, I think that they've taken the nod from their opponent that no other units are coming into play particularly quickly.
Right.
So I think you have the time just to build up this board. It really could go either way. I think it thoroughly depends on what cards are in the hand right now, what we have access to, and what we're going to be able to use to kind of minimize the effect that Aligu might be able to have with the cards and the amount. Oh my gosh, okay, and Akshan's coming down and just immediately equipping that Doran's Blade.
Yep, that's a Weapon Master, which then equips the Doran's Blade, which then makes Akshan become mighty. I have to imagine that the Akshan was drawn off of the salvage, or else I feel like that Akshan may have yoinked the...
I'll have that.
Yeah, would have yoinked the Guardian Angel, but... I mean, still fine. Even if it wasn't, it's still a fine unit right now. Gets mighty.
That works. We like it. Akshan's a menace when it comes to being mighty, but also just having another strong unit in play. And again, not overextending, passing the turn on to Aligu. It's going to bring Irelia back. Try and yes, put another Guardian Angel into play, especially right after that Akshan. Actually, really fortuitous timing there.
Yeah, very, very good timing there, because when Akshan steals the Guardian Angel, it basically never goes back, because if you kill the Akshan, it saves the Akshan and the Guardian Angel dies. So not great.
No, we don't want that. So fortuitous timing there for Ali. Probably feeling pretty smug about that one, I gotta say.
Yeah, and we're seeing a hard bargain there to stop the Hidden Blade. Absolutely needed there, because again, there are not any other units on the side of Irelia here. So really just grasping on to this princess. Absolutely needs to protect the princess, or else the whole kingdom may fall.
Really clutching on here. Everyone's trying their hardest and utilizing every resource. Oh no, there's another Akshan in it. No, you gotta be kidding me.
And a punch first and another.
No.
Oh,
a rebuke.
boy.
Oh my goodness. Look, a riposte even. Look at this. Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, this could absolutely spell the
there
end.
It is.
Yeah. Say it with me. Yoink.
Oh, Akshan goes ahead, takes that equipment. We were talking so highly of Guardian Angel being just that, the Guardian Angel of Irelia. Irelia now stripped bare, is just a little bit exposed to the elements now.
And we are seeing the full complement of Akshans here. We've got a lot of might in the base. The Irelia, I mean, there are some pump spells on the side of Irelia to take this fight, but it is going to be tough to try to navigate this, especially through Punch First, which we know is there, especially through the Riposte, which we also know is there. I mean, this could be the end of Irelia right here.
It depends whether you're brave enough to go into battle right now. There's a lot of power still standing on Irelia's side, and I can see a lot of dances in that hand. And she does love to dance. And when she does, she gains might, and your opponent loses it. So it is a very scary position to be in. Is it time? It's time!
That is the I'm crunching the numbers here.
No, I'm just going.
Yeah, I'll let you figure it out.
I won game one. Let's just do it.
Yeah. I think we could all agree that we've all made that exact same play. Yeah,
I've played this deck and done that play.
We've all done we're trying to put our math class on, and I'll make you do it.
We still have the Guardian Angel. That's going to help out if you're animation as well. Ali has a lot of decisions to make themselves now, as Animationmodule has kind of forced the matter. Of course, we get that first Defiant Dance.
Yep, Defiant Dance is going to make it 9 to 15, if my quick maths is correct. 10 even, there we go.
So we've still got a ways to go.
Still have quite a ways to go.
And we don't really have enough energy to back it up, but I don't know. We can do one more.
Yeah, we can play one more Defiant Dance, which I believe will make it 13-13, I think.
But then we do have the Guardian Angel, which will save Akshan.
Yep.
at least. So then we're not left completely dry.
Yeah, I mean, this is not factoring in the punch first that we know is there and the riposte that we know is there.
gosh.
We're not factoring that, and yeah, animation module just says, okay,
Yeah.
let's let this happen.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. I get Doran's Blade just comes back to base. Arkshan just chilling there, and there we go. We are just going to have managed to tackle down the beast that Irelia can provide for this. I just honestly being able to overcome that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
When Ali made such a great comeback to the initial impact that animation was providing with all of those units.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, this is a nightmare scenario for Irelia. However, I really like the play there of not committing that second spell there, because
I do too.
You know, you can make the fight there and you might win, but you can win the battle, but are you going to win the entire game is the question. And I think they said, yeah, I can spend these resources here, maybe make a run, but I'm not actually going to be winning the game. I'm going to be spending way too much to not do enough. I'm just going to take what I can get here, kill off almost all of your board, and go from there.
Boots of Swiftness come down, and I reckon, yep, we're just going to start building up. Just taking the, animation, you're not going to win yet, so that's okay. We're going to just let this happen for a bit. I'm going to build up my board.
I'm going to Heart of Dark Ice your Akshan.
Why not?
Here you go. I want to use my card. I played it. I get to use it. Why not?
I got to respect it. I got to respect it.
Sometimes it's about sending the message.
Akshan jumps back to base. We've got 2 open battlefields. Ali doesn't have anything to put in them right now, but that might not last forever.
Yeah, I think I saw a Stellacorn Herder in the hand, so we may actually start being able to claw our way back, and we do actually have quite a few runes, but that is a Spectral Matron. That is going to be bringing back your pick of favorite smaller unit in the trash here. Looks like we may be
Who's
going.
Our favorite?
Yeah, I think it's got to be our first mate, and that's going to ready Akshan to be able to dance around the world here over to the Monastery of Fiora, get up to that 6th point, and keep up the pressure.
Wanted to hop on over to the monastery, check out if anyone's there. Has anyone got a buff I can spend? Not right now. Okay, but still good for later. And we still want those precious, precious points getting up to that pivotal 6. And hopefully we'll be able to close it out soon. It would just simply take that hold point and then taking the Aspirant's Climb, but we do need the extra point due to the Aspirant's Climb, so we are going to need at least 1 extra turn on top of that. So Ali does have a little bit more time thanks to their own battlefield. Yeah,
this is the pivotal turn here, even though next turn, like you said, Fiora is not going to win next turn per se, but it's about how can Irelia set up here to actually put themselves in a position to win.
That's it. They've got time.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of time.
A little window.
Not a lot, but they've got
sometimes a
some
little is all
amount of
you
time.
need.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially when you can get a little bit of time with a Stellacorn Herder, sometimes that can lead to a lot of great things.
A little bit of Stellacorn in my life. Pop those booties on and off we go to Aspirant's Climb.
Yep, we shall see.
There's a lot of decisions. This is a we've been a long day. We're on round 7 here at the regional qualifier for Riftbound and Lille. Oh, hello
Adaptatron.
There. Well. Haven't seen that card yet today, but I'm very glad that I now am. And we got the opponent reading the card. That's my favorite. We've done it twice now today.
Oh, yeah.
Have a little look. Just remind myself what that does. Fantastic.
Yep, it's when the Adaptatron conquers, you can destroy gear if you do buff it. Wyatt has all that text again. It's an evil card is all I can say as the Lucian player.
We love that for Ali, because finally their opponent's battlefield might be quite useful. We could use that buff to draw a card. And that's unusual for an Irelia deck to be able to use the Monastery of Hirana. But for now, we're just going to utilize that to jump on over to Aspirant's Climb and score a point, because we got to start doing that. We need more points. We need to get back in the game. Otherwise, it's going to spell disaster. And we know that Animation can't win next turn. Akshan isn't that scary right now.
Yeah, he's not that scary. He's still scary. He's still a little bit scary, but he's
over there. It's fine.
Yeah, he's all the way over there. We are seeing Animation Module in the tank here, deciding what they want to do. Can they do anything? Maybe Hidden Blade or something might be an option to potentially try to stop this Adaptatron. It is likely going to hit the Doran's Blade, I would imagine. Maybe the Guardian Angel, but I would think the Doran's Blade
is probably a little bit troublesome right now. It's a tough decision.
I could see it as either, I suppose.
Do we have a response to that?
That's what I'm trying to wonder, if there is a response. I guess we could see something like Challenge. That is action speed, so we could... It's Akshan speed in this case, where you can challenge the Akshan onto the Adaptatron. I don't know if I would want to do that.
No.
Very
scary.
scary.
Consideration, but yeah, we're going for the Guardian Angel.
Okay, reasonable.
And there we go. We get a buff.
Okay, we get to the other ability of Irelia Blade Dancer is that when you conquer, you can pay an energy to ready the legend. Of course, allows you to dance around the battlefields, which is what this Boots of Swiftness is going to be able to do.
Challenging that Akshan, who now is a little bit squishier now the Guardian Angel isn't there helping it out, and we've got some significant... Oh, wait, I say significant, maybe not. Punch first coming in to add an extra 5 onto that Akshan, bolstering us up to 11. Defiant Dance coming in tow to bolster Adaptatron and debuff Akshan from that punch first. God, there's some mathematical jump rope going on here.
Yeah, and we talked about it just a couple of turns ago, where they could have actually used that Defiant Dance earlier to maybe win a combat or tie a combat. I don't quite remember, but they said, you know what, I'm just going to cut my losses here. I'm going to destroy some of your units now. I'm going to save this Defiant Dance, and here it is absolutely massive. Having that might lead here is going to not only destroy the Akshan, it's going to also destroy the gear. Doesn't matter if the Adaptatron's already buffed. It can only be buffed once, but yes, I found out the hard way. It can kill multiple gear. It doesn't matter. And to add insult to injury, it cost our opponent a punch first as well.
It did. And those punch first are so imperative for a deck like this to be able to hold on to for the right moments. And Defiant Dance just kind of came in and went, actually, no. I'm going to make that a lot weaker because I do not fancy letting that resolve at all. But we are looking like we've got a scrammy.
Yes, the salvage there is going to be able to destroy the Boots of Swiftness, which is going to put us back at what looks like potentially 9-9.
And drawing one as well. On guard, boosting it back up again. This is endless.
This is back and forth.
Both players are expending a lot of resources. Whoever wins this showdown could set the pace for the rest of the game.
Yeah, if Irelia loses this, it is not good for them.
It is very, very bad.
A lot of resources on this fight, and they are not going to have a lot left over. If they win, it's still an uphill battle, I would think, considering the amount that has been lost, but they're at least going to be able to take down this Akshan. They're going to be able to take down that additional gear. They're going to have a big, well, they're going to have a 4-might Adaptatron here, and, you know, from there, they are going to be in an all right spot, but it's still an uphill battle. At least they don't lose right now.
Exactly. Adaptatron has put in so much work right now. I think it deserves a pat on the back regardless. Going up against this Akshan, and so many spells have been slung back and forth. And it's about noting whether you want your opponent's spells to resolve and in what order, but we're going for the riposte.
Oh, riposte is absolutely huge. It's going to be that 1 might difference. Insane is going to be enough. That is going to prevent the Adaptron from conquering. It is going to destroy the Adaptron itself.
No.
That is going to have completely decimated the runes on the side of Irelia. It's completely decimated the cards in hand, the resources, everything. It's kept the Akshan in play. We're going up to 7. We're potentially even going up to 8 with only 6 runes and a single card. Well, we'll have 2 cards next turn. It is not looking good for Irelia.
Animationmodule might only have 2 cards in hand, but they have 3 units in play, 1 equipment, and enough energy to at least play something out of their hand. They're going to be going up to 8 here, and they need 1 extra point because we do have Aspirant's Climb in play. So, yep, just bolstering that top 1 there. Basically saying if you can't take 2, then that is game over, and it's doubtful. But we'll take a look at the top deck, see if it saves us.
Hey, I see Stellacorn Herder. That's a start. It all starts with Stellacorn Herder. We've got the Heart of Dark Ice. It's not.
Yep.
It's going to cost us a rune. That's fine.
We can ready it.
We don't need to save these runes for later.
Stellacorn can draw us a card.
Yep.
It could be it. Could help us out.
Okay. What have we got? We've got 12 versus 6 right now. There it is.
Animationmodule comes to be mighty themselves, winning round 7 of our regional qualifier here in Lille.
Yeah, and more importantly, that is a Fiora at 7-0 at an RQ. I don't know that we've seen, I'm going back through the database here in my mind. I don't know that we've seen a Fiora perform this well this early in an RQ in recent history. The last time I remember it doing well was in the Chinese regional events a while ago, early Spirit Forged. I don't know that we've seen Fiora really perform since then.
Well, there we go. It's the first time for everything, at least over here in Europe. And I'm very thrilled to see it doing well. It was just such a shame that Irelia didn't manage to quite put up enough of a fight, even though that you could see it was there, the push and the pull, and it was just which cards were in hand.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, the riposte at the end there really did just cherry on the top, and just you could see the writing on the wall from there.
Yeah, it's so funny when you're playing a calm deck. You're like, well, I've got access to all of the counter spells, and then your opponent plays their own counter spell. You go, wait. I'm the counter spell deck, and they go, sorry, bro.
Yeah,
don't know what to tell you other than that Adaptatron is gone. And it was absolutely crazy. I mean, this is just like the last round we cast where it's not just the cards you have in hand, it's when you are choosing to play them, picking your moments. You're doing the psychological dance of hey, do I have it? Do I not have it? Are you going to go in? Am I going to go in? Am I going to be able to get a 2-for-1 off of it? All this stuff.
It's important.
It's
everything matters.
Super important. All of those little values that you can accrue over the course of a game really end up paying off.
And all of those micro decisions when you're thinking about what you're going to spend and how much you're going to put into a combat, how much you're going to say, how much am I committing to this showdown? Is it important that I win this one now?
Yep.
Can I just let this one glide by?
Right.
Can I just let that happen? And those are the really key impactful moments that can spell out a game's entirety. And that's kind of what we saw there, where Irelia just wasn't quite able to keep pace.
Yep.
And every single time we thought, oh, a comeback's coming, it just didn't quite happen. Like when we finally had that wonderful equipment, and then Akshan came down. Even after a first one had come down, we were like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. So it was just a back and forth that just seemed never ending between the two.
Yeah, and we saw Irelia, really kind of struggled in that second game. They only had the Irelia at first, and they really valiantly defended the Irelia, but when we saw the dust settle, it's like, where'd all my runes go? I thought I had
go?
aren't I supposed to do these a turn? Where in the world did they go? It was like when I first started playing Spirit Forge. It was just all of my decks. I just spent all of my runes. I don't know what happened. That's what happened there to protect the Irelia, and then when you're able to get that little bit over the top, take out that unit, all of a sudden the Irelia player is playing from behind with very few runes, and still played very, very well. We pointed out a number of times where they made decisions that were like, okay, I am playing to win this game, not to just win this combat.
Exactly, and that's exactly where we saw like the pause with that Defiant Dance. Could have been played earlier, but actually it was more advantageous to leave it until there was that back and forth of a combat where they felt like, oh, actually, no, I am going to put my all into this. Unfortunately, in that very slim chances of those last few cards in your opponent's hand being exactly what they needed, that huge counter spell, being able to come back, actually was really almost disappointing, because you held on to that Defiant Dance, knowing it was the right thing to do. And then it still got countered.
It's so funny when you see Riposte, you're like, oh, I'm gonna counter a Time Warp, I'm gonna get +10, it's gonna be so great. It's like, no, I just need to counter a 1 cost spell to get +1.
Go on then.
That was enough to win by exactly 1 and still be able to get the win there. But we have got a nice little interview here for you. Let's throw it on over.
Thank you very much, Blevins and Amy. I'm joined by Animationmodule. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. That was a round 7 win on the Fiora. How was the game for you?
The game is the most turns I had for today, and even including yesterday. Okay. And it's hard to believe that you can win the combat from Fiona.
You made the comeback happen with Fiora. Why did you pick Fiora for this tournament? What makes her good?
Because there was one big reason. I think most of the people don't understand how this deck works, and that is a huge advantage for me. Also, it's closed deck list, so I have some spicy sideboard cards, which can be very good. And also, I think this deck has a good meta against. Has a good matchup against the meta decks.
Okay. Which decks do you think is good for Fiora about the meta?
I think in main deck is for sure it's Draven, because I can dodge the combat very much by first mate or hook. So we're just accumulating the power on board. On the base, and apparently I'm doing that better than Draven.
Nice. I mean, that's the way to win right now in the meta. Congratulations on your win. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Great.
We're going to send it over to Barcode.
Thank you.